चलो hadith musalsal bil awwaliyat. Maybe in future we teach you hadith, so your tasalsul remains. MashaAllah, Mubarak in your Mishkat lessons. Maulana Siraj Sahab, go be Mubarak for teaching you Mishkat Shareef. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the noor of Quran and Hadith and preserve it in your hearts for as long as you live. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the tawfiq to do khidmat of deen, khidmat of Hadith Shareef, and accept you. Mishkatul Masabih is a beautiful compilation of Ahadith Sharifa. Our Hazrat Sheikh Yunus Sahab said, Mishkat Shareef में 6000 में 40 कम हदीस है, 6000 less 40, meaning 5960. And originally was Masabih al-Sunnah by Baghawi Rahmatullahi alayhi, which had over 4000 hadith. Then Khatib Tabrizi Rahmatullahi alayhi added some ahadith to the abwab as needed and took it to just under 6000. Now, both are Shafi'iyul Maslak, and they try to support the Shafi'i Mazhab throughout the kitab. But it is our Hanafiya's broad-mindedness और दिल की बड़ाई है कि हम इसको पढ़ाते हैं. हालांकि हमारे पास भी किताबें हैं, मशारिकुल अनवार है, वो हनफिया की किताब है, लेकिन ये कबूलियत इज़ फ्रॉम अल्लाह से. अल्लाह गिव कबूलियत टू मिशकात, and our mashayikh teach it because there are lots of hawashis available for it. It's easy to teach. One of the best shuruh is Mulla Ali Qari Rahmatullah alayhi's Mirqatul Mafatih. And one of the reasons of Qabuliyat of Mirqatul Mafatih is that Mulla Ali Qari was a great Sufi as well. Along with being an alim, he is a great wali of Allah and Sufi as well. And this is what brings Qabuliyat from Allah. So stay connected to Sufiya Kiram, Mashayikh Izam, and Qabuliyat comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Mishkat is a very nice kitab, and mashallah, you studied over 160 pages and maybe over 1800 ahadith. So now your chapter is Babu Sadaqatil Fitr. This chapter is brought normally towards the end of Kitabul Zakat. Zakat is farz. Sadaqah Fitr, according to some Aimma, is farz. According to others, it's sunnat. According to others, it's wajib. Hanafi qawl is that it's wajib. Hazrat Mufti Shabbir Sahab's notes over here say that Aimma Salat say is farz, Hanafiya say it's wajib, Zahiriya, Salafiya, Shab Maliki say it's sunnat. So our maslak Hanafi is Sadaqatul Fitr is wajib. What is Sadaqatul Fitr? In one riwayat, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Tuhratan lis-sa'im min ar-rafath. That a sa'im fasted throughout Ramazan, but in that fast, he might have done some rafath. Rafath means saying dirty things, bad language, foul language, some sexual talk, or some type of abuse, insult, arguing, fighting, this type of jidal. So in Sawm, you should stay away from these things. إذا كان يوم صوم أحدكم فلا يرفث ولا يسخب ولا يجهل. You shouldn't do these things. Protect yourself. Sawm teaches you to keep your mind clear. And uh, of these things, today we are living in a sex-mad society. Everywhere you see is nauzubillah, sex, 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 objects, nudity, posters, billboards, videos, movies, on the road, uh, semi-naked people, So we need to protect ourselves. So the month of Ramadan is to protect our eyes, our ears, our tongues, our minds, our brains, our heart. Everything should be clean. So it's a good opportunity to cleanse ourselves and get rid of all these bad thoughts. Now, if Sa'im had done some rafath and said, these types of things, or sinned or erred, then sadaqah fitr is to clean him from that. So with that sadaqah, because as-sadaqatu tudfi'u ghadab ar-rabb, it extinguishes the wrath and anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And al-mu'minu fi zilli sadaqatihi yawm al-qiyamah. A person will be under the shade of the sadaqah on the day of Qiyamah. And sadaqatu tukaffiru al-khatiyya, kaffaratun lil khataya. It expiates and covers up the sins. So Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam encouraged sadaqatul fitr on the Yawmul Eid al-Fitr. Number two, second hikmat is that Eid is a day of happiness, joy. And there are many poor masakeen around the city who cannot celebrate and enjoy that happiness. They are poor, they have nothing, jara. How miskeen and zamat rabah. So miskeen and destitute that they have nothing to spread on the earth in their home, and they sit on the earth, they sleep on the earth. This is why they are called zamat rabah, of turab. Nothing but turab in their homes. You go around countries like Africa, Somalia, there's a drought. For 4 years there's been no rain there. And people are dying, animals are dying. May Allah have mercy on the people of Somalia. People in the earthquake in Syria and Turkey, people are on the streets. They have no roof over their heads. On the roads, old people, elderly people lying in park on benches. The bench which people used to sit is their bed now. When you see those photos and videos, you feel pity for them. So when Eid comes, they've also kept roza. Bichara, some of them there's roza their whole life. They have nothing to do iftar with. So Shariat has encouraged sadaqatul fitr so that we can help these people. They can have a little bit of money as well. They can enjoy, they can eat some good food on the day of Eid al-Fitr. They can also feel a little bit of that happiness and joy. This is the hikmat. Number one, tughratul lis-sa'im, and number two, i'anatan lil-masakeen. We have to give sadaqatul fitr. There will be other wisdoms behind it as well. There will be masail of when it becomes wajib. عند غروب آخر رمضان قاله الشافعي ورواية عن مالك وأحمد. Number two, عند طلوع الفجر عند الإمام أبي حنيفة ورواية عن مالك وأحمد. So it becomes wajib at طلوع فجر according to Hanafi mazhab on the day of Eid. This means that if a person died on the night of Eid al-Fitr, then there is no sadaqah fitr on him. And if a baby was born on the night of Eid al-Fitr, then his sadaqah fitr will be wajib because he is alive at Tulu'i Fajr, according to Hanafi mazhab. So the time of its wujub is Tulu'i Fajr on the day of Eid al-Fitr. And when can it be given? Some ulama say 2-3 days before Eid al-Fitr as well. Hanafi mazhab, some say from the beginning of Ramzan. Hanafiya say that it can be given any time as long as you are sahib nisab. So even if you give it in Shaban, it's allowed. Sometimes there is need and we give zakat muajjal, so we can give sadaqah fitr muajjal as well. So it can be given. This is why many of us send our sadaqah fitr back home India. To, when we send our zakat, we say ये zakat का पैसा है and this is sadaqah fitr, गरीबों में तकसीम कर दो. So it's allowed according to Hanafi mazhab, even if it's before as well. So these are few masail connected to sadaqatul fitr. And if you want to learn more masail, open Behishti Zevar. And Hazrat Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi Rahmatullah alayhi mentioned masla, and you'll get more basirat in there. I'm saying this because once I was in Portugal, Ramzan, and it was the night of Eid al-Fitr, and I wanted to do bayan on some masail of sadaqah fitr. Now you have to have istihzar of that masail. You can't do talk. So where do you get the masail from? There were no kitabs there. So I was looking around the masjid, ki koi kitab mil jaye, the Behishti Zevar was there. And I allowed Behishti Zevar. And open Behishti Zevar. And mashallah, sadaqatul fitr, all masail there. With hawala, the new Behishti Zevar has hawala of Arabic ibarat from Alamgiri and Shami and other books as well. Alhamdulillah is there. Hazrat Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi is an amazing person. Behishti Zevar is amazing kitab. Sheikh Qasim Wadi, brother of our Sufi Tahir Wadi Sahib, lives in Reunion Island, which is a French colony. He translated Behishti Zevar into French. And it's taught over there to their young ones. This Jamaat came from Morocco and they saw this kitab. They read it and they said, this is very nice. We want to take this for teaching in Morocco. So Sheikh Qasim Wadi said, but you are Malikis, we are Hanafis. He said, forget Maliki Hanafi. We've got nothing. So at least something is better than nothing. And they took copies. They took it for teaching in Morocco, though they are Malikiyul Mazhab. They said, this is a very nice book. This is the value of our Mashayikh's work. But we don't value Behishti Zevar, we don't even teach it. ये जो हमारी आपाएँ हैं इनको बेहिश्ती ज़ेवर पहले पढ़ानी चाहिए. हरबी अव्वल दोम में बेहिश्ती ज़ेवर पढ़ाना चाहिए. कोई आपा हो जो इनको मसाइल समझाए. बेहिश्ती ज़ेवर very good किताब. It's originally written for ladies. Hazrat Thanvi addressed the ladies. And in India, some of our elders said that before, when we needed to know any masala, we had to travel to Randeer Mufti Abdul Raheem Lajpuri Sahab or Dabel Mufti Bismillah Sahab to ask the masala. But since Behishti Zevar come and our ladies have studied it, we've got Mufti in every house. मसला पूछना हो तो बेगम से ही पूछ लो, वो बेगम मसला बताती है, तो आधी मुफ्ती बन जाती हैं बेहिश्ती ज़ेवर पढ़कर. हमारे हज़रत मौलाना इब्राहिम देसाई साहब रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, he used to use बेहिश्ती ज़ेवर for fatawa. He was imam. We didn't have muftis in those days in England, so very few. So when someone would ask him masla, he would look into Behishti Zevar and give fatwa ke Behishti Zevar mein ye likha hai. My father studied Behishti Zevar and he was well versed with Behishti Zevar and he knew masail proper, man. I've studied ifta, but even I don't have that basirat which my father had. Once in Bayan I said, فَمَنِ اسْتُرَّ غَيْرَ بَاغٍ وَلَا عَادٍ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. If you are mustar, right, then you can eat anything dead meat, even if it's khinzir or dead animal, even if it's a human being. One person is dead, the other person is dying, you can consume that flesh. So in the course of the discussion, I just mentioned this as well. So when I came home, my father said, इंसान નું ગોશ્ત બી ખાય બેજતી જીવરમાં તો ના લખેલું છે કે ઇન્સાન મરેલો તો બીજો ઇન્સાન એનું ગોશ્ત નહીં ખાઈ શકે, because hurmatul insan is different. You can eat other dead animal if it's a goat or a dead sheep or a dead donkey, or a dead horse, you can eat that, but you can't eat a dead human being. Human life is, sanctity. You have to realize, next week, clear. So next week in the dars, I had to clarify it, but this was my mistake. My father corrected me. And where did he remember that masla from? Behishti Zevar. So girls should study Behishti Zevar and learn Masail. So of course, Hadith, Mishkat, Shareef is important, but I will say Behishti Zevar is more important. Because Behishti Zevar gives you basirat into fiqhi Masail. If you don't have basirat in Masail, how are you going to practice? So for practical day-to-day Masail, you need Behishti Zevar. And it starts off with Aqaid. Islah hoti hai, uske baad phir taharat or Masail. And it's got everything. Towards the end, it's got tasawwuf. And then it's got muamalat. And then it's got other things of cooking foods and recipes. Other Tanvis covered everything. So, Masail, if you want to study Masail of Sadaqah Fitr, don't just suffice by Mishkat Shareef, what you've done here. Read Behishti Zevar as well. You get Masail there proper, and you understand what is the concept of Sadaqah Fitr, and किसके ऊपर देना है, किस पर नहीं देना है, कितनी मिक़दार देनी है, सब उससे समझ में आएगा. हदीस शरीफ पढ़ते हैं. हदीस शरीफ तो क्या है? हदीस शरीफ is the usul, principle to take masail from. It's not the masail itself. The masail is taken from Quran Sharif, Hadith Sharif, Ijma' Ummat and Qiyas. And fiqh is the fruit of Quran and Hadith and Sunnah. This is why Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah Ali Nawjazul Masalik, he talks about this in the Muqaddamah. And he said, some people are deceived by this notion that Hadith is everything and which we take from Hadith. And they disregard fiqh. In fact, they criticize fiqh. And Hazrat said, this is their foolishness. And Hazrat said, فَوَاللَّهِ لَيْسَ الْفِقْهُ إِلَّا ثَمَرَةُ الْقُرْآنِ وَالْحَدِيثِ. Fiqh is nothing but the fruit of Quran and Hadith. If you just take the tree and the branches and the leaves and you abandon the fruit, then that's stupidity, foolishness. So Quran Hadith is the roots, the trunk, the branches, and then fiqh is the fruit of that. So you have to take the fruit, you have to have more basirat in fiqh. This is why I normally encourage students to become mufti. Learn fatwa, understand juz'iyat and gain basirat. Don't just stop at becoming alim, go on to become mufti as well. These days, students don't want to do ifta. They want to do takhassus fil hadith. I don't give that much importance to takhassus fil hadith. A few people is okay, but everybody is going after takhassus fil hadith. Then do takhassus fil fiqh, yaar. This is more important. We need muftis. You don't get any muftis who can, go into critical masail and provide solutions. You ask a critical miras masala to some mufti, then his mind is scratching his head off. I don't know. I don't know how to work it out. So you need muftis who can provide solutions. This is why fiqh is important. So learn masail. And Ibn Umar, we go into this hadith over here. And Ibn Umar radiyallahu anhuma qal, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fixed zakatul fitr, 1 sa' khajur or 1 sa' barley upon the slave and the free, male and female, young and old, who are from among Muslims. And he instructed that they be given out before people emerge for Salat, meaning Salatul Eid. Before Salatul Eid, should be given out, right? You give it the night before, the day before, okay? Or whilst you're going for Eid Salat, in some masajid, they put towel or some box of Sadaqatul Fitr. So when they come for Eid Namaz, they put the Sadaqah Fitr there and then they distribute it to the authorities or the responsible persons. In our place, we try to, give our Sadaqatul Fitr before Eid al-Fitr. And Ummah Welfare Trust, they take it before Eid al-Fitr and distribute it before Eid Namaz in poor countries. So we have to give them 2-3 days before notice. And we collect it we pass it on to them, and they give it out in so and so country, poor countries. He said, before you pray your Eid namaz, your Sadaqah Fitr is gone in the hand of faqir. And if you have local faqirs, then you should give it to them. If you know of some widows over here who are struggling to make ends meet, some yatim bachas and their mother, right? And maybe some poor elderly people, bichare, they're ghareeb, well off, then you can give your Sadaqah Fitr to them. First is best to give it locally. And if there are no faqirs locally, then you give it out. So try and find some faqir in your neighborhood, give it to him, and you will get their du'as, inshallah. So this is قبل خروج الناس إلى الصلاة, before going out. Now, if a person did not give it his Sadaqatul Fitr before namaz, and he gives it afterwards, later on in the afternoon, or next day, or next week, or after a month when he remembers, then what's the hukum of it? Is it ada or qaza? Mufti Taqi Sahib discussed it in Dars Tirmizi, and if I remember correctly, he said something like, it's not ada and it's not qaza. He should give it out when he remembers it. Qaza is when you get sinful. So you've still got that on your shoulder, you've got the opportunity to give it out as soon as you can. It's not like Qurbani, which you have to do within 3 days. If you don't do it, your Qurbani is gone. And if you do it afterwards, then it'll be just nafli sadaqah, it won't be Qurbani. You'll get sin for not doing Qurbani when it was wajib on you. So this is wajib, just give it out when you remember. And the timing is, it should be given before, but if you forgot or for some reason you were unable to give it, you give it later on, still it will be classed as given. So this is masala. Parlo next hadith.
عن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله عنه قال كنا نخرج زكاة الفطر صاعا من طعام أو صاعا من شعير أو صاعا من تمر أو صاعا من أقط أو صاعا من زبيب متفق عليه.
We used to give Sadaqah Fitr sa' from ta'am. Ta'am over here normally means hinta, gehu, and 1 sa' of gehu. This is maslak of Aimai Salath. Hanafiya say that ta'am is am, and it's ta'amim of ta'am, and then sha'ir, tamar, aqid is takhsis ba'da ta'amim. Sa'am min ta'amin, and then aw sa'an min sha'irin, aw sa'an min tamarin, aw sa'an min aqitin. Aqit means paneer, cheese. Aw sa'an min zabibin, sultanas. Aqit. So this is because according to Hanafiya, if it's hinta, then it's nisfu sa'. Because hinta and gehu, wheat, was very scarce in those days. Their main food was barley. So Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wouldn't say 1 sa' of gehu when he wasn't available widely in that area. And there's other riwayat which say nisfu sa'im min hinta, because it's very expensive as well. Half a sa' of gehu in price would be equal to 1 sa' of jaw, barley. So this is why Hanafiya said that half a sa' of wheat or 1 sa' of jaw and barley. In this day and age, barley is more expensive than wheat. Wheat is cheap, right? So if a person gives 1 sa' of barley, it would be better to get more sawab, because nisfu sa'im min hinta is not necessary, and you can give the price of it as well. 1 sa' is roughly 2.75-79 kgs, just under 3 kgs. So if 3 kgs of wheat is, let's say, in Barbados, $20, let's say example, and 3 kgs of barley is $40, right? Then you give $40, you get more sawab. The more you give, the better. If you're wealthy, right, you should give more. If khajur, one saw of khajur, and khajur has various qualities, right? Barni is 5 riyals per kilo, and qalmi is 12 riyals per kilo, right? Multiplied by 3, 12 times 36, so 36 riyals, right? And ajwa is minimum 40 riyals per kilo, medium 50 riyals per kilo, large is 60 riyals per kilo, 70 riyals per kilo. So if you're wealthy and you give according to the 70 riyal ajwa, 3 times 70 times 3 is 210. So you give 210 riyals, you get more sawab. The more you give, the better. People today try to give the least that is possible. That should not be the case. You should calculate the most and give according to that to get more sawab from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as I mentioned, if you can find a local faqir and who is mustahiq of zakat, then give them. And we, even in England, we get lots of these mustahiqs now. Benefits have stopped, they give very little benefit. So people are struggling, especially after COVID. You might have them in Barbados, give to them. This is the main point of Sadaqatul Fitr. So, mentioned here is Sa'um min aqit. Aqit means paneer. Paneer literally we translate as cheese. And in those days they used to make cheese by burning the milk, fat, usko, making it like yogurt. When it's thick, they would put it into, a small plastic bag which have a small groove at the bottom, and you spread cream on the cakes, right? They used to have a bag like that. They would fill it up, and then they would go outside in the heat, and on the hot stones, they would spread it like you spread the cream on the cake. And they would make, they would have molds, and they would put that in there and leave it there, right? Square mold and fill it up, and with the sunlight, it dries up. And then it becomes really sour, khatta. And when it's ready and it's hard, and then at times you would cut chunks of it and eat it. That's called paneer. And the usul is that in heat, anything sour, is beneficial for removing the thirst, right? This is why in heat we drink limu ka sharbat, because lemon is sour. So you drink it, your thirst goes away immediately. If you drink this normal water, you'll drink glasses upon glasses, but you still feel thirsty. But you drink little bit of limu sharbat, your thirst will go away. So they used to eat paneer because in the heat they get really thirsty, so they chew a little bit of paneer, and the sour taste of it gets rid of the thirst. So they used to have this paneer, and they used to carry it around with them in their journeys, safar, and they would suck on it at times, or they would mix it with some khajur and make some malida with it and eat it. So Huzur Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Sa'am min aqit. Now aqit was a bit expensive. He said, if it's aqit, then give one sa' of paneer. Or sa'am min zabib. Zabib is even more expensive because zabib is small, sultanas. So to fill one sa' with zabib, you need a lot. So if it's expensive or zabib, give according to that, the price of it. So this is the meaning of Sadaqatul Fitr and the meaning of these ahadith. पढ़ लो और हदीस जल्दी जल्दी पूरा कर लो चलो just finish the bab because it's same hadith بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الفصل الثاني عن ابن عباس رضي الله تعالى عنهما قال في آخر رمضان he said himself in آخر رمضان أخرجوا صدقة صومكم give صدقة of your roza فرض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم هذه الصدقة صاع من تمر أو شعير أو نصف صاع من قمح. This is the daliil of Hanafiya. على كل حر أو مملوك ذكر أو أنثى صغير أو كبير رواه أبو داود والنسائي He said, nisfu sa'im min qam'. Qam' means gehu, wheat. So if you give wheat, then you have to give half sa'. وعنه قال فرض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم زكاة الفطر طهرا للصيام طهر الصيام من اللغو والرفث وطعمة للمساكين. Sadaqah fitr is to clean and cleanse the fast from lagw, bekar baatein, futile talk, and rafath, gandi baatein. Number one, وطعمة للمساكين, and little bit of food for masakeen. You see the two hikmats I mentioned in the beginning, they are in this hadith from Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu. Okay, first hikmat is to clean your roza, and second hikmat is to help the masakeen. الفصل الثاني عن شعيب بن أبي جدي رضي الله عنه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بعث مناديا في فجاج مكة. Fijaj is plural of fajjun. Fajjun means chauda rasta, wide roads. In the streets and the wide roads of Makkah, in the alleyways and the streets and the roads of Makkah, a munadi, an announcer, was sent around. There was no microphone system there. These days we have microphone system. If you can make the announcement on a microphone system, good. Otherwise, send someone around to say, Ala inna sadaqat al-fitri wajibatun ala kulli muslimin. Wajibatun, kiski dalil hai? Who says this wajib? Hanafiya. Ala inna sadaqat al-fitri wajibatun ala kulli muslimin dhakarin aw untha hurrin aw abdin saghirin aw kabirin min muddani min qumhin aw siwahu aw sa'un min ta'amin. Rawahu Tirmidhi. This muddani min qumhin is Hanafiya's dalil. Because a sa' is arba'atu amda, 4 mudds. So 2 mudds will become half a sa'. Okay? Our Hazrat, made some mudds and spread them out, and many people doing wuzu with the mudd. Alhamdulillah. This is barakat of Hazrat, and the sawab will go to Hazrat. One of our friends, made his habit of doing wuzu with mudd only. And one night he saw Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a dream. I was really happy with him because of this small sunnah. Because holding on to this small sunnah, Huzur is happy and comes in his dream. Now you might ask, how can we do wuzu with one mud? Right? Well, haath dhona, you take chillu, haath dhona, kulli, naak, face, right? Hands, masa, it's easy, you can do it. The most water we waste is on feet. Now, if you were to take the mud and pour it on your foot, right, you can't do it. What do? You have to take it with chillu and pour it on the foot and then rub it, right, and then take some more and take some more, and then you can do it. So, you will be able to do it in one mud if you want to. So, try and follow the sunnah if you have that mud and do wuzu with one mud. So, this is muddani. And sa' is 4 mudds make 1 sa'. Ajib, Huzur used to do ghusl with 1 sa'. ये बड़ा मुश्किल है, ये problem है. Allah हमको माफ करे, Allah हमको माफ करे. We have heard that, Mufti Zarwali Khan Sahab, he was very paband of this sunnah. On Friday, he would do ghusl with 1 sa'. हालांकि Mufti Zarwali Khan Sahab was, mashallah, Raheem Shaheem. But he would be paband of this, doing ghusl with 1 sa'. If you want to do it, you can do it. Because you have to take it chillu by chillu, slowly, and wash one limb after the other, then it will be possible. Anyhow, أوسع من طعام. وعن عبد الله بن ثعلبة وقال ثعلبة بن عبد الله ابن أبي صعيد عن أبيه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صاع من بر وقمح عن كل 2 صغير أو كبير حر أو عبد ذكر أو أنثى أما غنيكم فيزكيه الله وأما فقيركم فيرد عليه أكثر مما أعطاه. رواه أبو داود. It's on everyone. Ghani, Allah will cleanse him, purify him. And faqir, Allah will return to him more than what he gave. Now one faqir gave to another faqir, but he himself is faqir, so many faqir gave him, so he'll give more than what he gave. This is why for sadaqah fitr, you don't have to be sahib in nisab. Right? Even if you're not sahib in nisab, but you just got just enough to survive on, you still have to give sadaqah fitr. So zakat, you need to be sahib in nisab. But sadaqah fitr, you don't have to be sahib in nisab. Oh, huh. If you're so poor that you have nothing to survive on, then sadaqah fitr will not be wajib on you. You know, if you don't have assets which reach nisab, assets meaning household furniture, right, which doesn't reach nisab, then you are eligible for it. But to give, you still have to give it, right? So maybe you take it from here and give it there. People will help you, right? Pay off your sadaqah fitr. But everybody has to give it. Ghani has to give it, Faqir has to give it as well. And for Huzur Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ghani, then his zakat will be done, he will be purified. Faqir, he will give little, but he will get more from others. This is وَأَمَّا فَقِيرُكُمْ فَيَرُدُّ عَلَيْهِ فَيُرَدُّ عَلَيْهِ أَكْثَرُ مِمَّا أَعْطَى. बात फिनिश हो गया. من لا تحل له الصدقة مولانا صاحب will continue from there. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. سبحان الله وبحمده نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم لك الحمد ولك الشكر. اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا وعملا صالحا ورزقا حلالا طيبا واسعا وشفاء من كل داء. اللهم أغننا بالعلم وزينا بالحلم وأكرمنا بالتقوى وجملنا بالعافية. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع وقلب لا يخشع ونفس لا تشبع ودعاء لا يستجاب لها. या रहमान राहिमीन, माज अपने फ़ज़ल व करम से हम सब की मग़फ़िरत फरमा दीजिए. हम में से किसी एक को भी यहाँ से महरूम न उठने दीजिए. आपकी मेहरबानी से, आपकी तौफ़ीक़ से टूटा फूटा दर्स हुआ, इसको कबूल फरमाइए. हमें कुरान और हदीस की समझ अता फरमाइए. हमारे दीन में तफ़क़्क़ुह और बसीरत इनायत फरमाइए. मसाइल की अच्छी तरह समझ अता फरमाइए. परवरदिगार आलम इन तलबा को, अल्लाह, और तालिबात को उलूम नबूवत से बहरवर फरमाइए. इनके सीनों को कुरान और हदीस के अनवार से मुनव्वर और रोशन फरमाइए. अल्लाह, इनके असातिज़े किराम को जज़ाए खैर अता फरमाइए. इनकी उस्तानियों को जज़ाए खैर अता फरमाइए. इस मदरसे को कबूल फरमाइए. मौलाना सिराज साहब को बरकतें नसीब फरमाइए. उनकी पढ़ाई में, मुताला में बरकत अता फरमाइए. मेहनत से, तवज्जुह से, ध्यान से पढ़ाना आसान फरमाइए. और या अल्लाह, जो कुछ टूटी फूटी खिदमत हो रही है, महज अपने फ़ज़ल और करम से उसको कबूल फरमा लीजिए और इसी में बरकत अता फरमा दीजिए. आप कबूल फरमा लें तो बहुत है. कबूलियत तो आपके यहाँ से है. आपके यहाँ काबिलियत शर्त नहीं, कबूलियत शर्त है. आप अपने फ़ज़ल और करम और मेहरबानी से हमको कबूल फरमा दीजिए. हम सब से राज़ी हो जाइए. यहाँ पर बारबेडोस में जितने मदरसे हैं और जहाँ जहाँ दुरूस हो रहे हैं, कुरान हदीस पढ़ाई जा रही हैं, या अल्लाह सबको कबूल फरमाइए. सब में बरकत अता फरमाइए. अल्लाह, पढ़ने वालों को भी खूब बरकत अता फरमाइए और जो कुछ पढ़े उस पर अमल की तौफ़ीक़ भी नसीब फरमाइए. हम सब से राज़ी हो जाइए. अल्लाह, जितने दोस्त अहबाब बैठे हैं, सुन रहे हैं, सबके दिलों में जो भी जायज़ मुरादें हैं, नेक तमन्नाएँ हैं, जायज़ मक़ासिद हैं, उन तमाम जायज़ मक़ासिद में कामयाबी अता फरमाइए. हम सबको दुनिया और आखिरत की हर खैर अता फरमाइए. हर शर से बचाइए. हर वो खैर अता फरमा दीजिए जो आपके पाक प्यारे हबीब सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने आपसे मांगी है. हर उस शर से पनाह नसीब फरमा दीजिए जिससे उन्होंने आपकी पनाह मांगी है. रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंतस समीउल अलीम व तुब अलैना इन्नका अंतत तव्वाबुर रहीम व सल्लल्लाहु व सल्लिम अला सय्यिदिना मुहम्मद व आलिहि व सहबिहि अजमाइन बिरहमतिका या अरहमर राहिमीन.